everybody. Hello, everybody. Let me get out of my email real quick. And we are actually going to take notes today. And we are going to still be in indicator 3 for today. And whenever we are working on indicator 3, we're still solving those literal equations. So this is indicator 3. This is just day 2. Now, yesterday, your homework, you were solving for y on every single problem. Today, you will be given the variable to solve for. It could be an a, it could be an x, it could be a w. It just depends on what it is. So you're still doing opposite operations. And so if you see something, you need to move it to the other side. We're still going to do adding and subtracting. And if you see something that's attached, so like if you see an a times x equals 3 and you want to solve for a. If we want to get a by itself, that's attached. The a and the x are attached together, so we would get rid of that by division because it's multiplication. A times x is ax. So then whenever we would divide, that would then allow us to those would become 1, and we would end up with a equals 3 divided by x. And these are some things that we're going to be working on today. We're going to have multiple examples to go through, and hopefully you will be able to do those assignments. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to give me a call on Wednesday. I will be available from 7:45 to 3:10, or you are more than welcome to send me an email if you have a specific question about the assignment or turning it in on Cami or whatever that may be. Don't hesitate to get a hold of me. So let's do some examples. All right, so this time, let's see. I'm making these up as I go, so just bear with me. All right, so we're going to do 3a plus 4b equals 12c. And we're going to solve this for b. So we have our equation. Our equal sign is still that barrier. And our job is to get the variable we want to solve for on the left. So the variable we're solving for is b. So we're going to keep this one on the left. Now, we got to get rid of this 3a. So this is a positive 3a because it's listed first. So to move it to the other side, we're going to subtract 3a. Now, we can't subtract it from c, so I recommend making your own little column there. And we get 4b equals 12c minus 3a. We cannot put those together because they don't have the same variable. They're not like terms. But the b is still not by itself. It's 4 times b, so we actually have to divide each part by 4. If it comes out to a whole number, great, simplify it. If it doesn't, leave it as a fraction. So this leaves b equals 12 divided by 4 gives me 3c. Now, negative 3 divided by 4, that doesn't come out to a whole number. So we are going to leave it as negative 3/4 a. And that's all we have to do. And this is simplified. B is by itself. I know it doesn't look complete, but that is what we have. All right, so let's try another example. Can I hide that? Man, I wish I could. All right, that's fine. All right, so let's try another one. (3xy equals 30). And let's solve for x. So on this one, when you see things that are attached to each other with no symbol in between, that actually means 3 times x and times y. We can put the dots there, you just rarely see them there. So if we want to get x by itself, we need to get rid of times 3 and times y. We would get rid of multiplication by division, and you can actually divide 3 and y at the same time. Now, to write this final answer, I want to make sure that we're okay with simplifying this. So the 3's and the y's would become 1. So we're just left with x. Now, when we simplify this, we want to think about reducing. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So that actually would go in the numerator, and the y would stay in the denominator because it did not, if it's in the denominator, it's got to stay there. So I just want to show you off to the side. When you have 30 divided by 3y. 3 can go into 30 10 times, and 3 goes into 3 1. So if you reduce that, it's really 10 over 1y, and we just never write the 1. So that is why it's 10 over y. Now, remember, if I'm going too fast, don't forget to hit pause and stay with me. Let's do a couple more. All right, so on this one, we have 7c plus 2d equals 3d, and we're going to solve for c. On this one, the equal sign right here, we want to keep this term where it's at. The 7c is good. So if I want to move this 2d over, I'm going to subtract it over because it's a plus, so the opposite would be a negative. So I get negative c, 7c equals 3d minus 2d would be 1d, or just d. And then my last step, since this is negative 7 times c, I'm going to divide by negative 7. And here I would have negative d divided by 7. And we wouldn't want to write that. Never forget that that is actually a 1. So if you want to write it like this as well, those two things mean the same thing. So if you write negative 1/7 d or negative d over 7, those all mean the same thing, and I actually don't care which way you do that. All right, so this will be my last one, and then feel free to work on your assignment, and if you have questions, always ask. All right, 8w plus 2xy equals z, and we are going to solve, we're going to solve for y. All right, on this one, we want to keep this term over here because it's got what we're looking for, but the 8w has nothing to do with it, so we're going to move it over. And this ends up being 2xy equals z minus 8w. I very rarely write my z's like that with the line, but I just do that so I don't get it confused with a 2. So now if I'm trying to get y by itself, like we did on that a couple examples ago, when these are all attached, that means 2 times x times y. So since we're multiplying all of these, we can divide them both at the same time, but whatever we divide by, we leave it like this. So on this one, the 2x's would simplify. Now here, that really has a 1, but we never write it. You can't simplify this, so this is just z over 2x. Now here, the negative 8 divided by 2, that would actually be a minus 4w over x, because 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I put the minus sign out in front. So if I have 8w over 2x, the variables can't cancel. So I know that these are still going to be exactly in the same spot in my answer. Then bring my minus sign down. Now 8 divided by 2 is 4, or 4 over 1, but you don't have to write 1 times x. So we just put that x in the bottom, and that would be our final answer. So guys, this is our last day of indicator 3, solving for those variables. Again, I understand that this might be new to you, and if you have questions, Wednesday I am free all day, and then we will be quizzing on Thursday. So make sure that if you have questions on this, that you get those answered. It's a very short indicator. And like I told everyone in class this morning, after indicator 4, we will be taking our first exam. So virtual kids, I will be reaching out to you to schedule your first exam. Whether you are going to do that in person or online, we will make some arrangements. If you would like to, I would like for you to come in if all possible. I'll make sure that it's socially distanced, and you can come in on Wednesdays whenever there's no students in the building, and you can get those test and quizzes made up, and we will get that all taken care of. I hope you guys all have a great Tuesday, and I will be hearing from all of you soon. Okay, for those of you that just watched me do this, what did I do? My little screen went away. All right, so I've been recording and I hit stop.